2 weeks until the trade deadline, and we are ready for it, John Heyman. How involved will it be? Good morning to you. I got many questions. I feel like you could just replay my Shohei Ohtani questions on loop because they're going to be the same for the next couple weeks. So 2 weeks until the deadline. Where are the Angels at right now? Last we heard, they were listening. Yeah, well, this is the story of the next 2 weeks. No question about that. I mean, right now, I would say there is a chance. They are one game under, despite their big win last night over the Yankees. They have so many injuries right now. We know Trout is out, obviously Urshela, Rendon. So it's going to be a question of whether the baseball people can make a case to the owner. Obviously, it's not an easy thing to do to trade the best player maybe ever. So, you know, I mean, if he's thinking of this like I'm trading Babe Ruth, well, it's not going to happen. But, you know, it's really not the same situation. Babe Ruth was sold at age 24 when there was no free agency. So he was a Yankee for a long, long time. Shohei Ohtani is not going to sign an extension right now with the Angels. So he's got 90 days to free agency, and that is the situation. So make a case to the owner in the sense of we want to get a package back for him as a rental. Right. I mean, it's, you know, better for the team long term to do it. Not that they can sign him back. You know, if they trade him, I don't think that's too likely. But at this point, it's probably better to get that big package back. And I know they're thinking about some of those smaller market teams that have big prospects like the Orioles. You know, I'm not sure if they're going to do it. I think the most likely teams would be the teams that will use that 2 to 3 month period as a courtship to try to convince him to stay long term. So it's going to be those big market teams that are really going to be the most motivated. Will they trade him to the Dodgers? That one I don't see happening. I don't see them trading 45 miles to the north for the Dodgers. But San Francisco, Seattle, you know, there are a lot of teams that should have interest in Shohei Ohtani, maybe the best player ever. I wonder if that blister issue is of any significance. If teams that are looking for him as a rental want to see another start, we will see. What's up with the Cubs? You talk about pieces to move. I think of the north and the south side of Chicago. What are the Cubs' plans? 8.5 back. Yeah, I mean, like them, I think every day I'm going back and forth on them. I think today it looks like a sale. They're 7 games under. They're 8.5 out of the wild card right now. Even though the only team in that division with a positive run differential, they could have a very good sale. Marcus Stroman obviously will be a big piece that people are interested in. He has an opt-out at the end of the year. That will limit his value to some degree, but he's been really good this year. Cody Bellinger, another guy who should have big value. He's having an excellent year, hitting .301. Yan Gomes is another one. And, you know, they have pitching. Their pitching has been really good. They're not going to trade Steele, an all-star, but Hendricks and Smiley, 2 veterans, having solid seasons. Hendricks has been pretty darn good lately, so they could have a good sale, and I think that's probably today, anyway, the way it's headed. Is Stroman interested in going? Because all we've heard in the media, we've heard it a couple times, is that he wants to stay on the north side. Right. Well, at this point, it's really not up to him. Sure, of course. You know, and there just aren't these kind of contracts done in season. It's very rare, and it does not appear that's going to be the case this Where would he be linked to? Well, yeah, he has been linked. Interestingly enough, he's been linked to Toronto. Is that real? Yeah, I kind of doubt that one. He had kind of a bad exit interview with them, kind of a bad breakup when he was traded to the Mets. We don't know exactly the reason, but we suspect he wanted to go to the Yankees. But, you know, when you're in this situation, you don't get to choose where you want to go unless you're, you know, got a full no trade like a Verlander or a Scherzer. Here he's going to go where they can get the best deal. So there are going to be a ton of teams interested in Stroman. I'm sure the Rangers, you know, the Orioles, there'll be teams, but the Jays, to me, that seems a little bit far-fetched. They also have a 3.93 starting ERA, 9th in baseball. I think they really need Penn and a left-handed bat more than a starter. I'm sure they're talking to him, but to me, that's a long shot. Every contender would be improved by adding him. What will Robert's Astros do? If you ask him, what do they need, Robert? Bullpen help, rotation help, bats? Yeah. What's their plan? Well, they want rotation help. Certainly Garcia, Urquidy, and McCullers all out with injuries. So they're looking at the rotation very seriously. They would love to get Dylan Cease from the White Sox. Now, a lot of teams would love to get Dylan Cease. He's one of the 4 guys they've really made, I wouldn't say untouchable, but close to untouchable. So they'd have to pay a big price to add Dylan Cease. I do think Stroman is a possibility for the Astros. They're definitely looking at him. Also, the other names that we hear all the time, Montgomery, Giolito, Eduardo Rodriguez, of interest too. But Cease is their dream
acquisition if they can do it.
And Dylan Cease to the Astros, Robert. I heard you laugh when John Heyman said that. What are your thoughts?
They don't have the prospect capital for that right now. I mean, they just don't. Right, John? Am I crazy?
Well, it's not going to be easy. I think every team ultimately does, but, for them to trade all their best young players might be difficult.
John's going to stick around.
John, do you like McClain? Mr. McClain. Matt McClain. Yippee-ki-yay. Reds take a 1-0 lead.
There's a line.
Then in the third, Austin Slater. Giants tie this game at 1. Remember the Reds coming off that sweep of the Milwaukee Brewers. Wilmer Flores, Giants on top 2-1.
Guys.
Brandon Williamson threw the heck out of the ball. It's probably his best start for that.
And then X-Pac, Jonathan India, ties the game at 2. Game suspended. They'll resume it late this afternoon. By the way, India right now, a triple away from the cycle in that game. Marlins, Cardinals, Jordan Walker.
How many times have you heard that?
Paul Goldschmidt comes across to score 3-2 St. Louis. In the 6th, Dylan Carlson. Heard his name be the subject of some trade rumors. I wouldn't trade him if I'm the Cardinals. Like, how many more good outfielders do you want to trade away?
Trade some of them.
I know, but Nolan Arenado.
This guy.
That's extra bases. Definitely don't trade him. Definitely do not. Cardinals win 6-4. Nolan Arenado is hitting .305 with 18 homers and 54 ribs since the start of May. Guardians Pirates, where Wiz Khalifa threw out the first pitch. How was it? Oh, it was great. Just ask him.
No, it wasn't.
Ahmed Rosario, a 2-run homer, his 3rd. Then in the 6th, Andres Jimenez, a 2-run homer, his 8th. Guardians have struggled so mightily offensively. It was good to see them break out. Josh Naylor.
The Brewers and Guardians. They need a bat. We've been saying that for a decade.
Uncle.
Josh Naylor, his 13th home run of the season.
Guys, we need an impact bat.
The Pirates are now 9-26 in their last 35 games. They're hitting just .218 as a team. They fall 11-0. Twins, Mariners, Max Kepler. That is down the line. Now, Kepler, it got a little dicey because he tripped over his own bat.
He was graceful.
Well, his parents are dancers, so that makes sense. Jared Kelenic plops one in there. 2 runs will score. Mariners back on top, 4-2. In the home half of the 7th, Eugenio Suarez. Eugenio! His 12th home run of the season. Mariners go on to win 12-5. Mariners had 14 strikeouts as a team.
We're awesome.
Red Sox, A's, Adam Duvall, sac fly. 3-0 Boston later in the inning. Connor Wong. That is down the line. 2-run double, 5-0 Boston. Next batter, Yu Chang.
Better get on board with the Red Sox.
I know. I mean, do they have enough pitching? What's the bullpen going to do? But, by the way, can we shout out Nick Pivetta, setting a new franchise record with 13 strikeouts as a reliever. The previous record holder was your boy Dick Raditz back in 1963. Red Sox.
What year was that?
1963.
Wow.
Building success presented by IKEA. Let's talk about the Red Sox for just a brief moment. Since July 1st, they have the best winning percentage in baseball.
I just keep thinking back to Chris Sale.
I know, me
He got
too.
injured, and he
Me
said,
too.
gosh, I'm starting to have so much fun.
We're going to get Story back at some point, too.
Brian Bayo has been excellent. Yeah, they're interesting right now. All right, coming up on the bottom of the hour here on MLB Central. Strow me something, would you?